Everybody's got to
All
travel.
right.
Everybody's leaving Israel? Why?
No,
That's
there were a lot of. Listen, the plane to Israel was packed too. Believe me.
Why are they leaving Israel, Alan?
They packed. People want to get out to take. It's been the end of the
End of COVID. End of
yeah,
COVID.
everybody wants to get out. They haven't traveled for 2 years. And that's what I hear.
Yeah, the airport was like nightmare city, man. It was tough.
The airport is always busy. You flew El Al?
Yes, I flew El Al. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
The flight was
They're
really.
always busy.
Okay, we're on
Okay.
we're on Yud Amud Aleph. This Simone
Sign off a second.
Meis Nolad V'Yabim. Meis Nolad V'Yabim. This was the case yesterday. If you had multiple, 6 brothers, and for example, here you have 6 brothers: Ruvain, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, and Ruvain dies, and there are 4 brothers who are alive when Ruvain dies. When Ruvain dies, after Ruvain dies, Yisachar is born, and then Shimon is Miyabim, the wife of Ruvain. And then Levi dies. After Levi dies, Zvulun is born. And then Yehuda is Miyabim, Shimon died, right? And Yehuda is Miyabim, Shimon's wife. And now, Shimon and Yehuda have been married, these women. They die without children. So the women fall to Yisachar and Zvulun, who independently was Eishes Ach Shlahaya Ba'olomo, right? Because each one was born after the other one died. So for one of them, it's gonna be Asur, right? For Yisachar, Zvulun's wife is going to be okay, and for Zvulun, Yisachar's wife, they sort of cross-pollinate. But Ela L'Rab, so that works according to our Mishnah. Ela L'Rebbe Hani Klali Leslie. But according to Rebbe, these klolim that Rav Chia established for either 4 or 6 brothers, Rebbe doesn't accept them, and therefore it's a machlokes. And we said that any halacha that was in a machlokes should not have been mentioned in our Mishnah. So Ravana Karchina Kamed Rav Kanama Mishmei Rav Lo Olam Isla Rebbe Hani Klolim. No, Rebbe does makabel the klolim of Chia. However, Hachi Kamarle. This is what he tried to say. Imo Anusa Saviv. You have a brother who is the product of when the father raped a woman. Didn't marry her. It's still Imo, but there's a machlokes whether one of the brothers can marry Anusa Saviv. Rav Yehuda holds you can. So Imo Anusa V'chad Mishkachas Law. So you can have a situation where you can have half of that, where we said before when you have 4 brothers, and we say Zeh Asr v'Zeh Mutter on each brother, and the 2 sister-in-laws is Yevimto, it only works for one, not with both. Betarti lokam chakashas. Why? The Gemara explains. Yaakov shtei achayos onas. Let's say Yaakov raped 2 sisters. So, we can have a situation where the 2 sister-in-laws, one will be miyab and one will not, but it can't work with where these brothers this is their mother. So you can't have muteris lezem muteris because none of them are muteris. Let's say the father raped 2 strange women, and then the 2 brothers marry them, and then they die. Then you'll have the situation of Asur L'Zem Muteris L'Zem Mishkachas Law. But you won't have because they're not sisters. That only works when there's two sisters who are falling. These are not sisters. He disagrees. Rabbi doesn't hold of Rav Chia. And not only that, he will list things in the Mishnah that are in a machlokes. So what did he mean? What did Rebbe say to Levi that I think you are without a brain? The Carmelite. My time in Lodiaktamas Nisan. How come you didn't deduce from our Mishnah the Masnisan Rabbi Yehuda the Osar Banusa Savi? Rabbi Yehuda argues with the Rabbanon. The Rabbanon hold that a father who rapes a woman, and then there's a son, the son, that's not really a mother. It's not Esha Saviv, and it's not Imo. Because it was a product of rape. Rabbi Yehuda holds you cannot marry Anusa Saviv. Now, how does it work out with Rabbi Yehuda asering? Biktani. There are 6 arayos, 6 prohibited relationships that they can marry, and their tzoros are mutter. Imo, because Imo falls to a son, there's no yibum or no chlitza, but there was no marriage, so therefore the tzara is permitted. Eishasaviv, achlesaviv. Now, my imo, what do we mean imo? Ilem and the suasaviv. It can't be an imo that the father married. Hainu eishasaviv. A son cannot marry a stepmother. So even if it's not his mother, he cannot live with the wife of his father. Ela lavanusa safiv. It must be a woman that the father raped. They ended up marrying someone else. Why? Because Rabbi Yehuda holds that the sons cannot marry Anusa Saviv. That's the diuk from our Mishnah, that our Mishnah is Rabbi Yehuda. Right? And Mansham Isledi Isleh Haisvar, who is the Tana who holds that Anusa Saviv is us? Rabbi Yehuda, the Osra Anusa Saviv. That's why that case was not learned by Rebbe. Armalei Ravina Ravashi. You know what? Rabbi Yehuda nami mishkachasla. It'll work out to Rabbi Yehuda as well that the brothers one of the sons can marry. Di over v'nosiv. Di over v'nosiv means he's not allowed to marry Anusa Saviv. But what if the brother did? What if the brother did yibum on that mother? Even Rabbi Yehuda holds, if he says it's also, it's not kores. It's just a lav. If it's a lav, the nisuin that brother had with this woman is chal, and therefore, if he dies, she will fall. She will fall to yibum. So how come what case wasn't listed? The Gemara answers de'id lo ktani, a case of maybe that he's going to commit an aveira and do it anyways. That's not mentioned. We're only mentioning cases in the Mishnah that are beheter. Amalei Rav Ashi Rav Kahana, below the nami mishkachas, even without this far-fetched case, it'll also work. Yaakov onas kaloso. Yaakov raped his daughter-in-law. V'hoilid mimena ben, and had a child. Now, that child is going to be a brother to the other brothers. Because right, Yaakov is the father of this woman that he raped. Umeis Ruven below banim. V'nafal kamei bra. Right? And she falls to her son. Migu di asira tzarasanami asira. So just like she's going to be asr, the tzara will be asr. Armalei, ba'achvasa dehetera kamayri. Our mission is only talking about brother and sisterhood that is done beheter. Ba'achvasa de isura, but with sisters and brothers that are going to come through isur, like raping your daughter-in-law, which is a mamzer, that the Mishnah doesn't deal with. However, afal pichein, but kalevi masnis Levi investigated the Mishnah, the Tani Levi. Imo, you'll have a situation where sometimes a mother will fall to one of the brothers biyibum, pamim poiteres sarasa, pamim einam poiteres sarasa. Sometimes the co-wife, if there's a co-wife, doesn't get yibum or chlitza, and sometimes you can do yibum to the tzara, ketza. Haisa imo nesua safi. A regular case. You have a son, the father had married the mother. V'nisis la'achiv me aviv. The woman gets married to Reuven and Shimon are brothers, but Shimon doesn't have the same mother, only the same father. Umeis, and that brother dies. Zuhi imo she'ein poter sarasa. This is going to be a mother because the nesuin of the brother there was no tfisa because it's Eishes Av and it's Isser Kores. So there's no chal of the nesuin. So the tzara is really the only wife that's a real wife. He can be miyabim her. But haisa imo anusa saviv. Let's say the mother was not a nesuin mother. It was a rape. The father raped someone, and the nisus la'achiv me aviv, and then that woman got married to a stepbrother. A brother from the same father but not the same mother. Umeis zui imo shepoteres tzarasa. This will part of the tzara, because according to Chachamim, the nesuin is a nesuin. Even according to Rabbi Yehuda, the kiddushin is toifus, because the problem is only a lav. So the mother and the tzara is falling to the son, and since the son can't marry his mother, and the tzara is with it, and there was real nesuin, when there's no nesuin, so that's why they could marry the tzara. When there's a shtickle nesuin, because it's only an avera of a lav, and kiddushin is toifus by lav, that will pater the tzara. And even though the Chacham in the Mishnah only mentioned 15, we could add a 16th to the case we just said. Levi learns cases of Aveira, De'i. That means if he went ahead and married her even against the law, you could add women as well. So why not, if you're going to go that way, I can add another Isser. Lisni achoyletz liyavimto. When you give chlitza to a woman that falls to you, you're not allowed to marry her again. Once you've rejected her, you can't marry her again. However, he went ahead for chazer v'kidsha. He went ahead and did a lav and gave her kiddushin. Umeis below, and then he died without children. The migo de asura tzarasanami asura. We're going to say amigo. Since she's usher to the other brothers because he already gave her chlitza, so the tzara will also be prohibited. That will be another case of our Mishnah where both her and the tzara is patered. No, it doesn't fit our Mishnah. Remember, our Mishnah talked about if the tzara gets married and then one of the brothers dies and she falls again, it creates a secondary tzara. This case doesn't create a secondary tzara. If a marriage is done with a lav, so there is kiddushin, so you should be able to give chlitz and yibum. So why should it pater the tzara? So the Gemara answers lidvarav kamerle. Lididi chayve lavin him. The chayve lavin b'nei chlitz v'yibum. I hold that chayve lavin can get chlitz or yibum. Ela lididcha chayve krisus ninu. But according to you, it's a chayve krisus. That a chlutza, if you marry a chlutza, it's iser kares. And then, so then there would be a reason to include such a case in our Mishnah, but we don't include it. We don't have that secondary tzara. Itmar. Reuven and Shimon. Reuven died. The woman falls to Shimon. Shimon gives her chlitza. And then he went ahead and gave her kiddushin. Amresh Lakish hu ein chayiv la chlutza kares. There's an Isser Lav, but there's no more Isser Eshesach, because Chlitza was given. Now the other brothers, Ha'achin Chayav Lachlutza Kores, right? If the other brothers lived with her, there is no Heter Yevama for the other brothers. And there's still Isser Eshesach. Alat Tzara on the co-wife, Beinu Ben Achim Chayav Alat Tzara Kores. The Tzara is a regular, is another Eshesach, where there would be Kores. However, Rav Yochanan Amar, Bein hu, ubein ha'achim einan chayavin lo lachlutza kores v'lo latzar kores. Once chlitza was given, there's no kores. My time at Reish Lakish, who says there is kores. Amar Kra, asher lo yivneh es beis achiv, kivin shelo bana shu lo yivneh. Since he chose not to build the house, there's an aveira to do it in the future with kiddushin, or to live with her. So he, the one who gave chlitza, has the lav of lo yivneh. There's no Isser Kares anymore. But the brothers who didn't do anything, this woman was usher to them be'eshesach. And now there's no chiyuv yibum anymore. So the Isser remains. Chiyuv Kares. And now, Rav Yochanan doesn't learn that way. Mi ikemidi di meikara, iboy high choletz, iboy high choletz. Can we have a case where he had two women? He could have given this woman chlitza or that woman chlitza. Vi iboy la high choletz, vi iboy la high choletz. The hashtakoy Allah b'kares. And you're going to say that the tzara is a kares, or by the other brother there should be kares? Can't be. He, the brother, was a shaliach for the other brothers. When he did chlitza, there's no more zika remaining to any of the brothers. And she, the one who got the chlitza, shlichusa de tzar ka'avda, she accepted the chlitza on behalf of all the other co-wives. And we paskin like Rav Yochanan, that it's not kares, it's belav. It's Rav Yochanan Lakish. Achoylet liyavint of a chazer v'kidsha. Shimon gave chlitza to the wife of Reuven, and then he gave her kiddushin umeis, and then Shimon dies. Tzricha chlitza min ha'achim. So the other brothers have to give a chlitza again. Because remember, they died without children. And it's a good kiddushin. Rav Yochanan says this is not kores. It's a chayav lav. So when you have a chayav lav, for example, mamzeris, kohen to an almona, kohen gadol to an almona, kohen to a grusha, you're not supposed to do it. But if you do it, there's chalos in the kiddushin. So therefore, there's a kiddushin here. I know the tzricha chlitza menachim. So that's why when he dies, she falls to the other brothers. They need a chlitza because it was a real marriage. You say it's kares. Amai tzricha chlitza. There's no So Rish Lakish will say back to Rav Yochanan. Omad echad min ha'achim v'kitsha. If one of the brothers went ahead and gave her kiddushin, ein la alav klum. There's no kiddushin. Ichayv lavin, amay ein la alav klum. If you're saying that it's a chayav lav, there should be kiddushin. Amar Rav Sheisha Seifa Son Rabbi Kiva Amar and kiddushin toisim chayav lav. We know there's a major machlokas between Rabbi Kiva and the Chachamim. Rabbi Kiva holds that if a kohen lives with a grush and has a child, the child is a mamzer. That there is no kiddushin by chayav lavin. We hold that there is kiddushin by chayav lavin, and there's no mamzeres. So the Gemara says, "V'lisnei l'divrei Rabbi Kiva ein lo alav klum." Why did you say Rabbi Kiva? There's no klum. Kasha. Okay. We're deep in the midst of Yevamos. You can see our brains are frying. Okay.
The case by Rus, when Boaz married Rus, they had to ask the closer core first. Did he give chalitza, or he just did? He just wasn't. It's not the same as brothers, right? It's just
no,
like
Boaz. But he didn't give chalitza. Boaz went ahead and was Makayim people.
No, but they say he asked the other relative if he
Because
wanted.
there's a kadima Elazar. If you have an older brother and 5 brothers, we're going to learn there's a kadima. You give the oldest brother first dibs. But
he didn't have,
if he doesn't go for it, then the younger brother can do it.
Without having to make a chalitza at all. Yeah, okay.
If you did chalitza, there would be no yibum. Chalitza
For
breaks
forever. Yeah. For everybody, for all the brothers.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to call back in 4 minutes. Saul is
Go ahead.
like tomorrow 8:00. Oh. Tomorrow is Purim. So we said tomorrow we're a blot
8:30.
ahead. No, we're a blot ahead.
No.
So we said Purim night will be 8:30.
8:30. So nothing tomorrow.
Nothing, because we're a blot ahead.
Right. Okay.
Purim night, Thursday night will be 8:30.
Ernie,
Yes.
Ernie, you have a Tsurba 9. I don't have a Tsurba 9.
I have an extra if you need. Sorba 9.
Okay.